Good morning, world. Afternoon, I guess, actually, at least for me. So, the last time we spoke, let's see, it would have been about May of 2021. Right now it's May of 2022. And needless to say, I was not in a great spot. Not sure if it came through on camera or not. I haven't watched that video in a while. But I was not doing so well. Basically, and I did explain it in that video, I was very gung-ho to start riding again with some sort of consistency last year. I had done a lot of work to the bike, which I talked about in that video. I had done a lot of work mentally, and by that I just mean like I was pumping myself up watching, videos on YouTube and just some of even my own old videos and whatever, right? Just kind of like getting back in the like groove of wanting to ride. A couple things I didn't get to was figuring out how to really get myself to a point where I could commute on it again comfortably and easily, just as far as storage space is concerned and stuff like that. I used to all the time, and I just kind of like lost it, honestly. Really my own fault, just stupid stuff, but I just went the wrong way, but that's okay. But anyway, so I was trying to solve all those problems and whatever, and this was like January of 2021. Well, long story short, it had been nagging me for a while, the lower back pain that I did talk about in that video. And then I went skiing one time, and I was teaching someone how to ski, and so I was kind of like picking them up off the ground from falling and whatever. And long story short, between the nagging little minor back issue, and then I think that day of me falling a couple times and helping that person, it just like exploded and really turned into something bad. So I don't know if you could tell in that video, but I was definitely not in the greatest spot physically, or even, for lack of a better term, emotionally, just because I was hurting, and yeah, I herniated L4, L5, and L5S1, which are your two lower back discs. So basically what happens is, for those who don't know, oh my god, are we ever going to turn? For anybody who doesn't know, that's a bad spot for that bicyclist. What winds up happening when you do that is your discs in your spine touch your central nervous system, your spinal cord through your spine. Now, I'm not a doctor, so don't take what I'm saying with like gospel, but yeah, basically you're just keeping a consistent pressure, tickling your spinal cord, and that does not feel good. It causes sciatic nerve pain down your leg. For me, it was my left leg. If it's bad enough, you can actually like lose your reflexes in your leg. You can like lose continence, whatever. Yeah, you'll have to, you can't hold your own pee in. So it's really not good. You can become paralyzed technically too if you wreck your back bad enough. So anyway, I had gotten a steroid injection shot thingy in like late February, and then I think I was on the bike in late April or May doing that video, and I was feeling better. However, I didn't even realize the road to recovery that I was embarking on. To be completely honest, it was a ton of work, lots of physical therapy, 2 or 3 times a week, I think it was, if I remember correctly, for like 2-3 months. And I had to do all the exercises at home, which I was militant about doing. Very, very diligent, because I wanted to get better, man. My summer was kicking in, and my back was still not feeling great, and I wanted to ride so freaking bad last year, and I just couldn't. It was May, June, July, and I felt good. I mean, I felt much better, but it was just not remotely 100% yet, and it was one of those things where I'm like, motorcycles are so bad for your back when you really think about it, right? Just sitting on your tailbone bouncing around, and I'm like, it's just not something that really makes the most sense to do too soon. So I put the bike in the garage. I freaking practically just covered it and tried to forget about it, and just chalked up last year to not being able to ride, which I was not thrilled about, but it is what it is. Life happens, and I was very thankful I was starting to feel better, and I was working super hard toward it. I discovered this yoga program called DDPY. But basically, it's a calisthenic, like yoga-based workout program. But anyway, I started doing that, and that's when my back really, started to heal up. Ironically enough, as I'm, bouncing over potholes. But that was when my back really, really, really started to feel better. And I started to get to the point where I'm like, okay, I can envision myself riding a motorcycle again, Because there was a period of time in 2021, I didn't know if I'd be able to ride again. It was just one of those things. I'm like, I don't feel that great, and I just didn't know, And I'm freaking 27 at the time, 26 years old, and I'm like, man, what the heck, right? Like, how did I even do this? I mean, listen, I've always been a couple pounds overweight, and I haven't had the easiest life in my body, but I've never abused myself. I eat pretty good. I always got decent exercise, 6'1", 215, 220, like nothing crazy. I've always had a little bit bigger build too, so that wasn't that much weight for me. And like, I just couldn't even believe it happened. But so there was a few months there where I was just like, man, like what the heck, right? So anyway, later 2021, as I started feeling better, and I was starting to do this yoga stuff and whatever, I was really starting to feel better. And I'm like, okay, I think I can get back on the bike. Well, the interesting thing was, so I got on maybe like September, October time frame, which of course here in New York State is the tail end of the season. And I really just went the wrong way again, but that's okay. I'm taking the very roundabout way to my destination. But so I got back on the bike, and I mean, my back was really pretty darn good by that point, but for some reason, just bouncing around on the motorcycle, it just did not feel good. A lot of gravel on that turn, otherwise I would have hit it a little harder. Whee! More gravel. Slow and steady wins the race. But I just did not feel great. I mean, I didn't feel terrible, but I could just tell my back wasn't happy with it. So I went back to the drawing board. I'm like, okay, I added some different workout routines in. Man, I have a lot of good friends who are big time into this stuff. I never worked out a day in my life before all this, to be honest with you. So I didn't know anything about it. Consulted multiple friends, talked to, did a bunch of research online, talked to some doctors, whatever, just a bunch of different stuff. Got some other workout routines in there, kept doing the yoga stuff, which was phenomenal. Fast forward to December 2021, I took the bike down to North Carolina where my family lives and did a bunch of riding down there. Boom, awesome. Okay, so as of December 2021, last year, I was rocking and rolling. I felt good. I'm riding the bike. I mean, I felt like shit handling and stuff because I hadn't ridden in so long, but my body felt good, right? So I'm like, okay, we're getting back in action. This is great. So I left the bike down there because I couldn't use it up here in the winter anyway. And then February, pretty much to the day actually, which is kind of funny, but February 2022, I went back down there and then rode the absolute friggin' pants off the damn thing, which felt absolutely invigorating after a year of struggling. And man, I'll tell you what, excuse me, mailman, thank you, sir, appreciate it. After a year of not riding, couple things, right? I didn't realize how much I missed it and how much I truly loved it, and I hadn't been riding too much the last couple of years. Just before that, life changes, whatever. I can make up a million excuses, but I just wasn't. So to finally get on the bike consistently this year, I've been riding to work 2, 3, 4 days a week, whatever the weather permits. I've been going on weekend rides like I am today with my one buddies. I got a couple more friends now that ride in my area too. I kind of was running out of friends who rode. That was the other thing. But man, I really had a renewed spirit for it. I've probably put more miles on the bike in the last 2 months or a month and a half or whatever than I have in the last year or two, or the last 3-4 years, sadly, which, is what it is. But it's funny because, a lot of people would be like, oh, like, and I had people say all these kind of things like, oh, like, yeah, you're ever gonna ride a motorcycle again, you could hurt yourself, or, do this thing, you might hurt yourself, do that thing. And I'm like, it's funny because for me it gave me the opposite perspective. I'm like, I want to do all that stuff more now than ever while my body can handle it and I can do it. And I want to work out and stay healthy to allow my body to do these things as long as humanly possible, right? I want to be riding this motorcycle when I'm 60 I don't want to say aggressively, but as nimbly as I did when I was 27 now, right? So So man, it really changed my perspective, and I've been actively working out, multiple times a week, and I added some strength training in, and goddamn, I feel so much better. I mean, my back is basically 100% healed, and it essentially causes me no problems. And I only say like essentially because once in a while it's just a touch sore, but like nothing really crazy. And honestly, that might just be more muscular from using it. But anyway, 99% healed. My knee, which I won't get into this whole story, but I had gotten Lyme disease, and I got a thing called Lyme arthritis. It essentially manifests itself like rheumatoid arthritis. You can look that one up if you're curious. But that's all better now. I was struggling with that for over a year, and I took a bunch of antibiotics, which made a big difference, but the knee never quite healed mechanically. So like my right knee's feeling good, my back's feeling good, my brain's feeling good after all this BS. And goddamn, not that life is perfect, but I'm definitely doing a lot better. So it was a rough couple of years there, health-wise, which is kind of a weird thing to say when you're in your 20s and on the outside relatively healthy looking, right? I mean, again, I wasn't super overweight or smoking or drinking heavy or doing drugs, like just living kind of normal and living what most people consider right. But shit happens, man. You can just never know. And that's the funny thing, is that's a perspective it gave me of like, yeah, I could get smoked riding this motorcycle right now. I don't know, it could happen, right? There's things I can do to help prevent it, there's things I can't do, but at the end of the day, it's like you could also be like randomly skiing, teaching somebody how to ski on the bunny hill, fall and wreck your back too. So it's like you just never know. And I'm not going to personally live my life trying to accommodate all those you never knows. I'm going to do my absolute best to mitigate risk and send it. That's the biggest lesson that I learned. And man, taking care of yourself. I like I said, I never worked a day out in my life. I didn't come from a family where it was, don't get me wrong, I'm not putting my parents down, I love my parents, but it was just never like a top priority in our family, physical fitness, right? Wellness, eating 100% right. I mean, they never fed us crap, but it just wasn't like something that was studied, so to speak. So even just kind of learning more about good food and bad food and sugar and whatever, right? Just really definitely changes your perspective on things. But and you feel a little better, you have a little more energy, and if you have a little bit more muscle mass and you're a little more fit, guess what? If you do fall, and there's a less of a chance you hurt yourself and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I just wanted to make this video to kind of explain some of that stuff. I just missed the driveway. Dang it, I suck.